This carbon fiber full suspension electric mountain bike claims it can do 35 miles an hour and over 50 miles of range.
Whipping past the Civic. Yeah.
We hit 35 back there.
Yeah, let's see how fast it'll go.
Other than the lightweight carbon frame making this thing weigh just 60 pounds, another interesting feature is it has a remote lock air fork. It's also got a 1000 watt rear hub motor paired up to a torque sensor. The Nireeka Revenant 1000 is not our typical budget-friendly cheap electric mountain bike. So in today's video, we're gonna crack this thing open, take it out for a 20-mile test ride and see what it's made of. And when you open out the box, one of the very first things you might notice is there's a 3-inch tire on the rear and a 2.6-inch tire on the front. Front tire is actually 27.5 by 2.8 inches. It's running Kenda tires, knobby tread for some off-roading. And the rotors are Shimano and 180 millimeter rotors. It requests that you use resin pads only. And we'll see what's in those boxes down there, but first, let's take a look at this carbon fiber frame. Wow, that's actually pretty nice looking. Looks like we'll be rolling with some Shimano Dior brakes, the good stuff. And the carbon fiber frame has a carbon fiber swing arm mounted to this rear suspension. It is an air shock with 140 millimeters of travel. Here are the rebound and compression adjustments, and the tail light is integrated into the frame. Front suspension has adjustments. It is an air fork, and you can add air right there. The left stanchion has a remote lockout control. We'll take a closer look at that soon. But first, let's take a look at the handlebars. Stem is from Wake. So we're gonna have to pop that block of wood off there. Oh, we popped the battery out too. What are we gonna charge it with? Charger has heat sinks to keep things cool. It's gonna be a 48 volt battery, charged to max is 54.6, and a 3 amp charger. Pop that battery off. Battery is not in here. And here I was thinking it felt so light because it was carbon fiber. Interesting. Designed by Max. So I'm guessing there's about a 0% chance that battery is in here. Pedals, they are metal and a little bit more narrow than our typical pedal. Tools, and a Buffang display we'll throw in there soon. In this box, it's a Bloke. Seems fairly nice to me. And speaking of Buffang, the rear hub motor is Buffang brand, and it is indeed stamped as a 1000 watt rear hub motor. We'll get that fired up here shortly. Somehow, we're gonna need a battery. And while I'm thinking of it, the rear tire is indeed 3 inches thick. Thicker than the front tire, which we'll get on there soon. The front wheel has a through axle. Comes with some firewood. It's a through axle. Up on the handlebars, we get some sweet hydraulic Shimano Dior levers. Man, these things feel nice. Round rubber grips and a thumb throttle on the left. We'll throw the display on in a moment. Over on the right, this is how you will operate the lockout remote air fork. We get a Shimano Dior 10-speed shifter. And the bike weighs 60 pounds, so really not too bad at all. Tires are Kenda Havoc 30 TPI, a little more rugged. And here are the 10 gears we'll be working with. Shimano Dior derailleur, keeping it all uniform. And a mountain bike style 38 tooth chainring up front. Here's a peek at the other side of the air shock. This is where you can add air to make it more firm or less firm. Suspension looks nice, but what are we gonna be sitting on? Oh yeah, we got a mountain bike style seat here. Got a little cutout in the middle. Seat post diameter is 31.6 in case you want to swap it out for something else. And there is a quick release lever for easy adjustments. And suddenly, this thing's starting to look pretty serious. Here's what it looks like when the display is on. So for your reference, I am 6'5". Seat is on maximum height. And here is what I look like getting on this bike. Woo! That rear suspension though, dude! That is a very, very plush feeling rear suspension. And the front suspension comes with no air in it whatsoever, so I have it locked out right now. As you can see, it just kind of drops down. We're gonna have to put some air in there with the pump they gave us. We'll keep it locked out on front. Pedal stroke for a 34 inseam would look like this. So for a 6'5" dude, this bike would, be a little bit small for a 6'5" dude. However, if you're shorter than 6'5", seat now on minimum height, just to give you an idea, this is what my pedal stroke would look like. And of course, we could adjust the air in there as well as, that's what the rebound and compression. We'll play with that when we get outside. So the battery does indeed come shipped in a separate box. The battery is a 840 watt hour Nireeka brand. It's a 17.5 amp hour 48 volt system. So it is a carbon fiber frame. This will add a little bit of weight to the bike. How much weight? 8 pounds, 9 ounces. So Pretty middle of the road battery. Should get some pretty good range out of it. Also will keep the weight pretty reasonable. So 17.5 divided by 3 amp charge rate would take a little bit under 6 hours to charge from completely empty to completely full. So for my weight of 200 pounds, it says I should set the PSI of the front fork to about 100 PSI. In order to do that, you screw this on here and you pump this thing up to 100. That'll be 100. And then the process for undoing this so you don't lose all your pressure, you have to unscrew just the top one. So that'll release everything. And now, oh no, I hope I didn't lose it all. Oh yeah, dude, that worked. This feels perfect. Let's do the rear shock too. So for the rear shock, they say I should do 200 pounds. I mean, for a 200 pound dude on the rear shock, 200 PSI for 200 pounds. Pump is pretty easy to use. Get a little bit of leverage here. Yeah, 200. I got it to about 190. It'll be my goal to lose a little bit of weight there and make it right. Same process here. Now. There we go. Let's give this a try. Very, very floaty, dude. This is feeling nice. We still get our other adjustments. Oh yeah, this feels right. Oh yeah, dude. So check that out. I'm adjusting the firmness. I'm gonna be spoiled after this bike. So let's pop this battery on in there. Goes like this. Boom. Cover goes on. We are locked and loaded. So let's fire it up. Boom. Buffeting power your life. So we get a color display, battery percentage up here, 100%. We gotta switch that from kilometers to miles. Looks like we get a 0, eco, 2, 5. We're on eco mode, so maybe hold the I button. I was thinking that might flip us to sport, did not. So we get our average speed, range estimate, calories, nice. Time, trip, odometer, max speed, basic stuff. There's no light, no headlight on this bike, which is fine, helps keep the weight down. There is an integrated light on the back, and when you grab the brake lever, it does nothing, which is fine as a mountain bike. And of course we get our suspension lock or unlock remote control here. You can see it locking it out with that physical cable there. So I'm pretty pumped to try this bike out. Oh, here's how you switch to sport. You hold the plus button, it switches from eco to sport, just like 2 seconds. And then awesome that we get our power output displayed right here. We can see 1500 watts will be about the peak. Let's try it out, dude. Throw this thing on pedal assist 5 sport mode, ready to go. Oh, whoa. We're still on kilometers, but it shows an instant 60. All right, dude, let's take the Nireeka Revenant out for a ride. I figured out how to switch it over to miles per hour. So of course, we'll turn on the Strava so we can track our official distance on this battery pack and hopping aboard the Revenant. I can tell right away, this is gonna be a little bit more aggressive riding position than usual. Let's roll. So the very first thing we're gonna do is run it up to 20% grade. We'll put it on sport mode, pedal assist 5 and do thumb throttle only. I'm not gonna help it pedal at all. Ready to go. So I weigh 200 pounds. Let's just see what it'll do, kind of rolling out of the gate here. So it's kind of reducing our power, surprisingly. I don't doubt the power of this bike. So it looks like this one is going to give us full power after we get rolling a little bit. So let's start a little bit back here so we can get a little bit of speed going here in this hub motor. And now we are rolling up throttle only, not helping it at all, and it's pulling us right on up. So of course, this is probably not how you're actually gonna be riding an electric mountain bike like this. So let's go ahead and shift it on down to the highest gear, and on pedal assist 5, we're gonna roll into it and just start helping it just a little bit here. And it is a torque sensor on this electric bike, and it's pulling us up the hill. Just very, very little minimal effort here. Seems like it's gonna be a nice riding electric bike. So let's flip this thing into sport mode. We're gonna do a little bit of light trail riding to start this ride out. Can you see that display through the polarized lenses? Unfortunately, it filters it mostly out, and I'm tempted. We're not gonna do too much grass riding on this thing, but I'm just tempted. Man, this is some nice feeling. Oh my goodness, dude. You can't even feel like there's any bumps at all. Let's just pop off this curve here. Wow, yeah. Suspension ate that right up, dude. Give it a little bit of pop up there. Oh yeah. So on eco mode, pedal assist 1 is a torque sensor, and it seems pretty nicely set up to where you can just kind of putting in a little bit of effort here, getting it rolling up to 13 miles an hour pretty easily here. See a few little rocks sticking up. This one did not come with fenders. You could easily throw some fenders on there if you want. And I'm in top gear on these Shimano Dior gears right now, and this is feeling very nice. So we'll get back on some more trails over there in just a few. So pedal assist 1, man, this torque sensor's feeling nice. This is like the lowest mode, so if you want to get a good exercise in, you can. I'm going 23 miles an hour right now, and pedal like the lowest setting, just kind of putting in a little bit of effort here. Let's bump it on to pedal assist 2. feel it out. So this bike is handling pretty nicely. It is a hub drive electric bike. The torque sensor on this bike's feeling pretty nice, and I mean, it should, considering the price. I can just put in like a little bit of effort here on pedal assist 3 and it just helps me. Looks like it's giving me about, it doesn't show a number. Let's see what it says there. Oh yeah, it shows you a little output meter there. It's kind of hard to see exactly where you're at, but it looks like it's giving me about 500 watts of power. But the nice thing about a torque sensor is you can bump it up all the way to, still on eco mode, on pedal assist 5 and just put in a very minimal amount of effort. Like I don't know if you can see that little green bar there, but it's kind of just helping me just a little bit here, and I'm hardly pedaling at all, but let me press on those pedals a little hard. Oh yeah, wow, it really kicks that power in. Even on eco mode, I think I saw it peak out up to about 1500 watts there. So I guess if you're buying a electric mountain bike, you might be wondering if you should get a hub drive or a mid drive. This is a hub drive. Pros and cons, I mean, we could talk about this all day, but I mean, you know, a hub drive is just gonna be simpler. You don't gotta worry about messing up your GoPro cut out there, but this is a perfect example of the benefits of a hub drive. You can just kind of throttle it from a stop and you don't got to worry about like downshifting your gears compared to like a mid drive. So you're not gonna have to worry about tearing up your cassette and messing up your chain. Just like a simpler, easier, newbie friendly, easier system to use. So let's pop it off here in this trail, downshift a couple gears and switch it on over to sport mode here. So hold that plus button for just about 2 seconds there. Now we are in sport mode, torque sensor. Let's crank it down just to like pedal assist 3, downshift a few more gears, climbing this hill. Dude, the suspension is by far the most notable thing on this. It just feels like I'm on a cloud going over that. I'm gonna be spoiled after reviewing this more expensive bike compared to the typical budget stuff I ride. Riding position, I am noticing I'm definitely much more up on the handlebars than a typical e-bike I review. So this is like more of an aggressive riding position designed to help you put down power to the pedals as well as have more control over that front wheel and your handlebars. So you also get, you know, your weight distributed a little better up on the front shock as well as the rear shock between the two suspensions, and you're able to put down more power to the pedals when you're up on the handlebars more like this. Pedal assist 5 now in sport mode, man. This thing's got some zip to it, I can tell. And we are in top gear. I feel like I'm starting to run out of gear at about 26 miles an hour, 27 miles an hour. So let's go ahead, hop on this thing and try throttle only, see what it can do 0 to 20 on its own. Some throttle on the left, I'll just go ahead and mash on it, just on its own, not pedaling, showing 10. GPS will lag a little bit, am I right? 15. 20, and it'll accelerate you beyond 20. So pretty respectably quick feeling electric bike on its own. And before we do a little bit more trail riding up here, let's whip it around, go for a top speed run. So let's just go. I'm in top gear. Actually, I'll downshift a couple. Get a little bit of speed coming here around this corner, and we'll just assume the speedometer is correct for now, 25, 26. So it is a torque sensor. The harder I press, the more it's gonna help me out. 31, 32, and yeah, man, we shouldn't be going this fast going into loose travel. I do feel some rocks and a little sand kicking up on my face due to the lack of fender on the front. Let's go ahead and climb up to the top of this hill. This is probably a little bit steeper than the California incline, but not as steep as my parking garage hill test. This is probably, I don't know, roughly 15%. So it's the torque sensor, and I'm just kind of pedaling, helping a little bit. We'll pop it on down. The gear ratios on this bike are excellent for mountain biking, and I'm just helping it a little bit. Let's do throttle only. So showing it's only giving like 500, 700 watts of power. It's not going to give you too much power because it's not going to try and burn up the motor running it too hard at like low RPMs. Let's just help it out, get it going a little faster here. And you can see it gives you more power once you start moving faster. So now if I just throttle it after getting a little power in the bike, you can see it's showing 1,000 watts, and it's slowly like reducing the power as the bike's kind of losing steam a little bit so it doesn't fry the motor or controller or something. You know, for a bike you're going to be pedaling, I'd say this thing's got enough torque and hill climbing ability for sure. Definitely does not feel inadequate. It's Dior brake levers, baby. Feels so nice. Another beautiful day here overlooking the LA basin. You can see maybe the Hollywood sign way off in the distance out there. Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, the beaches out there. Really, this bike would be great to ride out in the Santa Monica mountains out there. Would it have enough range to do so? I don't know. We're gonna do a little range test today. We're sitting at 86% right now, and it says we've burned 35 kilocalories. Generally, I give the brakes a little bit more time to bed in, but let's head on down this hill. Get a little speed in this bike and see how they feel. So back brake is on the right, traditional mountain bike setup. Oh yeah, You really don't even have to pull these hydraulic levers very hard. Most notably though, just the brake levers and feel on these things are great. Just kind of tapping on that right one. I can feel the front like kind of dive down. That suspension set up for my weight, and let's get a little speed coming down here and then pull on the brakes a little harder. Oh yeah, dude, you got plenty of stopping power. And then you get the 2 what? I forget the exact width on these tires, but they will be the limiting factor on how much braking force you can put down to the ground. It's just how much they can grip, really. They are grippy. So let's do a little brake test here from about 20 miles an hour. About 20 there. Oh, there's the camera. I didn't see the camera. Man, these brakes were good though. So full throttle here, give it a little bit of input of our own, get it up to about 20. Turn my head sideways so I can see the display. That's 20, and we're ready. Oh yeah, dude. Don't want to go over the handlebars. Good brakes, dude. Real good brakes. The bike's pretty light too. I think it's like, what, 60 pounds? So like, I mean, you got some big rotors, nice hydraulic levers, and you know, it's not exactly a cheap bike. So the seat is definitely mountain bike style. Long, narrow, skinny seat, good for, you know, pedaling a bicycle. So let's get out here and ride this thing a little bit, man. This thing, it's a very nice feeling. Oh, I wish I would have hit that little feature there. I keep wanting to attempt this hill. There's no way. We probably shouldn't do that. Section looks fun here. Man, that suspension is just so good compared to what I'm used to. So cadence feels natural to me, cruising at about 20 miles an hour on this bike in sport mode. Top gear. It's a fun little trail bike, dude. Hopefully I'm not kicking up too much dust and dirt out here. Motor's pretty quiet, man. It's pretty powerful. It makes you work for it with that torque sensor. It makes it fun. So let's shift it down a few gears. There's a pretty steep hill coming up here. We're gonna roll into it. Dang, this thing has granny gears for days. We're gonna go ahead and try this hill here, see if I can actually do it. Wrong gear. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, let's bump this thing more on like gear 3. Whip it around here in gear 3. Give it a little bit of pedal assistance coming in here. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Let's drop down here, see if we can do this without falling. Yeah, buddy. I did notice there are no brake cutoff sensors on this bike, which I prefer. I'm sitting here on the hill and I can hold the brakes in, press the throttle. You can see it give it a little power now. See it go? Now I can let off. It's giving me power. Let's get out of here, dudes. Let's see what the theoretical max is here on this downhill. So down just a few gears, hop on out here, just kind of pedaling. 20, 25, 30, 33. So right around 33.7. On flat ground here though, I can keep up with the pedaling up to, man, that felt nice over that speed bump. Speed hump, we don't even gotta worry about it though on this thing. Oh yeah, dude. Start to run out of gear at about 33. Whipping past the Civic, 33.5. Goes about 30, 34 is about the top speed on this thing. Fun bike, dude. Yeah.
We hit 35 back there.
Yeah, let's see how fast it'll go. Woo, speed bump. He wants me to go faster. Nice.
You're not even wearing a helmet. You're not worried about it?
I probably should wear a helmet.
It's like me talking to my mom.
So after beating on the battery for about 6 miles, 33 minutes of messing around here, let's go take a second lap, starting at 75% battery, and see what happens if I don't go crazy. So in general, on my second lap here, I just feel like I'm more inclined to want to actually pedal this bike, because whichever pedal assist I have it on, I can go however fast I want, and it feels like a little bike on the juice. Pretty much the only complaint I really have about this bike is the seat. Don't love the narrow seat. Despite the suspension being so floating on a cloud, seat is starting to get to me just a little bit. That, and I wish it did have a little bit more torque. Maybe I'm just getting lazy. But if you want all that torque off the line, you're gonna have to go mid-drive, which is more expensive generally. So just crossing over 10 miles here, about 50 minutes of ride time, 12 mile an hour average speed. You can see the second lap only brought the battery down to 70% from what, like 75? Yeah, that just goes to show you how you ride it really significantly depends on, you know, how much battery you burn. So I think 50 miles of range estimate on this bike is actually pretty accurate, especially with that torque sensor and the bike being, you know, 60 pounds. All around, the Nireeka Revenant is a fun bike. If you guys do want to buy one, buy through the link down below this video in the description box. However, if this is not the kind of electric bicycle you're looking for, watch this video next and I'll catch you over there.